Good morning. We're doing a virtual open house for the King collection. This is our second for this collection because it's a nice collection. Obviously, we can't do in-person open houses and previews right now, so we're doing these all via Facebook, Instagram. Sharing these all on YouTube as we can. Let me go ahead and share this on my page. Alrighty, share. Now, alright, let me turn the volume off on my iPad so nobody hears me speaking to myself. So we're going to do a virtual open house again. A lot of people watched it on Monday, I think we did it, the last one. A lot of people watched it, a lot of interest. And the brought some questions and things we didn't have a chance to look at on Monday. So we're going to, we flip this around and we'll do a quick walkthrough. Like, I didn't even get to some of these wonderful little paintings in the auction. The bottom one is by Elig, I think. It's a New York artist. This top one is not signed, but it's just a really charming little Hudson River school painting in its good original Victorian frame. You can see when I go to the side here how deep the frame is. It's just a good Victorian piece. And that painting there is dated, I think, 1904. It's from that time frame, roughly. Again, the consensus is that is a little boy peeking over the fence. I was not confused, but it threw me because of the pink flowers. But my wife said it just looks like a mischievous little boy looking over the fence. And so we're going to go with that. And we posted it the other day, and dozens of people commented. And I think everybody said it was a boy, so I guess I just wasn't seeing it for some reason. All right, let's get to the eagle. That's probably the piece that's had the most questions during the entire, so far. It is 63 inches long, or 69 inches long, just under 7 feet. It is sitting on a 4-foot table, and you can see that it's hanging over both ends. I think, I looked at it a little bit closer this morning, and we'll go look it over a little bit closer to right now. I think it's actually older than I expected, and it has been restored and touched up or repainted at that time. So I think it's better and worse than originally expected, right? So let's look here. You can see that this is a seam right there. So you can see that from here forward is a separate piece of wood. Nice little detail on the beak. And nice carving. Obviously, when you're up 6 inches from it, it doesn't look that defined, but when you get back across the room, and this is an across the room piece because it is so large, you can see that it has been drilled on both sides, both wings, for hanging, for mounting actually. It was mounted to the wall. And what threw me, I think, as far as age is this color of the blue and the red. It's very, very bright and crisp. So my thought is that it's from probably 1920-ish and then was restored probably in the 50s or 60s. Just some really good carving, good details all the way through. And I want to set my phone down in just a second and go to the back and show you what I saw there that kind of also led me to believe what we're just talking about. You can see it's a nice, it has good depth, good thickness to it. Obviously, this carving here, I mean, look at how deep that is against my finger. Like, let me get a tape measure. I mean, some of this carving is, these spots are 2 inches deep, 1.5 inches deep. 1.5 inches right there, almost getting level. It's almost, 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches deep inside the curls of the flag. So you can see it's a deep, well-covered carved piece. Hey, Diane. Hey, David. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Anything you want me to look at in particular while I'm doing this preview video today, let me know that as well. Somebody asked the height of this. It's hard to determine because, obviously, looking at it this way, there are no, the wings pick up, and the bottom of the bunting goes down. But that table is roughly 2 feet. So it's going to be, if you add a couple inches there, and a couple of inches there, it's going to be roughly 30 inches tall. So 30 by 69, I think. So let me set this down. I think I can set this phone right here. Perfect. I want to flip the eagle over. Make sure we don't put any pressure on that head and beak. And it will stay there. I know I tried this before. Let me grab the phone again. So here, looking at the back, somebody asked about multiple pieces. It absolutely is pieced together, but not everything that looks like a seam is a seam. That's just a cut in the wood, right? So I was concerned looking at this. I see this whiteness on there. I was like, why is that white? What is going on? Again, the idea of it being restored at some point makes a lot of sense. You can see that there is definitely a seam right down the middle. And what I think they did is they skim coated the back with something and painted it this brown to kind of give it some stability. You can see, where did I see before? Some running here of like glue and varnish. See somebody's hands right there? Is that a handprint? It certainly looks like it. Yeah, it looks like somebody's hand right there. They grabbed it while it was still wet, while they were working on it. So I think that's kind of what happened. They gave it a bit of a skim coat and painted the back of it to make it look more uniform on the back side, but it's definitely a carved wood, big chunks of wood. Looking at the top, you can see the cut marks from the carving and such. And again, these don't go all the way through where these brackets were, but these holes, like I said, it was mounted directly to a wall, and you can see what's going on in there. Hey Dave, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. You can see here, this is another seam of a board right here, it looks like, where they pieced together parts for the wings. But this side doesn't have it, so that's actually, that doesn't look like a seam necessarily because it doesn't go all the way to the end, right? So right there, it disappears. So that looks just like a way it was a rough cut, because there's no gap or anything. Is there anything at the end? Right, no, so there's no seaming on the end. So that's just a rough spot in the board when it was originally cut that looks like a seam. So we have, looks like we have this half is one board. Trying to see if there's anything I'm missing. The points on the flags are added. But roughly, basically, this half is one board. This half, the bottom from here down, this is a seam here. So there's 1, 2, 3 boards make up this big eagle. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this around again so that I'm not worried about it hanging off the table. Looks like Lee Brummett might be watching and a couple of other people. Thank you all so much for watching. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and please ask and let me know. As I'm going through today, I want to take my time and do this a little bit more in depth like we did on Monday. All right, so I think that's kind of covering the eagle. Again, my thoughts are that it's an older piece, 19-teens, 1920s, that was restored at some point, looking at it more closely. So I think I'm going to adjust the description on that and add some more details about that to explain what I've found here. And we'll share this video on YouTube later. We'll put out an email for those of you who haven't had a chance to want to watch it over again and see what's going on. Is that Mary Hodges up there? Anyway, alrighty, let's look at what else he's got going on. A lot of interest in this little showcase here. Had a couple of people call about it. Just a nice old country store. Love that the glass has on all sides, top, bottom, back. Gives great light for display, and it really highlights whatever you put in there. Thanks for watching. Hey Cindy, how are you doing today? If you have any questions about anything we're looking at, let me know. If there's something in the auction you want a closer look at, please go ahead and post that as well. We'll be happy to answer them and look at them as we go forward. Again, a lot of nice artwork in the auction. That carved piece there is really interesting. Has quite a bit of damage, but just really nice deep carving. But nice little urn. Kind of not really fits with the rest of the auction, except that in the style necessarily, but really cool anyway. Let me go back here. We've had a couple of really cool pieces. I want to set the phone down again, I think, so I can work with my hands. All right. This is one of the best pieces in the auction, and it's only, what, 3 inches across? Little shaker, 2-finger box, original paint, an old piece, painted even on the bottom. You can see this is circa 1900, 1920. I mean, it's just a wonderful little example of the craftsman arts. And just as original and as dry and as raw as it could be, which people love. A little shaker sewing roll. Has Nancy Noble, it looks like, stitched into the pattern, into the piece, to say whose it was or who made it. Silk lined. Nice work on the sewing. And this note was included with it. Made in 1795 by Miss Nancy Noble, and that was Mrs. Walter Bailey Buck. Walter Bailey, I wonder if that's the, there's an artist here in Kansas City, Walter Bailey. I wonder if that's the same thing. Hey, thanks for watching, Steve. If you have any questions, let me know. Of course, here in Kansas City, in the sharing the border of Kansas and Missouri, KU is huge. A lot of people are digging the KU paperweight. Great condition, a little bit of paint loss, probably 20% paint loss, but it's a nice older piece, and people love that. So let's go ahead and move on. These are great. I'll talk about these. I'll probably come back on Monday evening, maybe even do a video in the night time when people or other people can have access to it. I didn't even mention this the other day. This really cool carved model ship. What's really cool is that the stand are carved dogs, which I've never seen that before. Obviously, it was painted green, probably in the 60s or 70s, given that antiqued look. That has been around for a long time. We've talked about that many times on Behind the Gub with Jason. Great little deco lamps and neat little holiday pieces. A lot of folks are really liking the Christmas lights, the candle lights. It's hard to find one of these anymore, much less a group of 7 or 8. So if you like good old holiday pieces, something you want to take a look at, really dig the Impressionist painting up top there. A lot of carvings in the auction. This little bird desktop set is fun. Nice little deco lamps. Again, this piece here, I wish I could find out more about it. I know I've seen it before. I want to bring it up in every auction video I do, because hopefully somebody will say, oh, that's... I don't know why Penobscot tribe just went through my head, but I want to look that up later. But it looks like something along those lines, Native American. I know I've seen it before, but I cannot place it. Alrighty, some more fun smalls here. Pennsylvania. My bracket almost fell. That's all inlaid, that Pennsylvania Dutch star. Dig the starfish. Another eagle. A lot of eagles in this auction. Nice sewing swift. Some more textile pieces. Alright, so the miniature secretary. A lot of people have asked about that. A lot of people are looking at that. And if you watched the last video we did, you will realize that when I took the drawer out, I realized that it was signed and labeled as far as Colchester, Connecticut on the bottom. Found out who this was. It's Constantine Halou out of Colchester. And I know that because I found a nearly identical, and I mean nearly identical piece on a website out east that they had sold several years ago to collectors in California, and they had it identified as this person, Constantine. And so I reached out to them, and the only thing that I know so far, and I'm going to do some more digging into this, is that Constantine, thanks for watching. Hey George, how are you doing, man? How are things over in Illinois? If you have any questions, let me know. But the Constantine here did restoration work for Nathan Liverant, antique shop dealer out in Connecticut for years and years and years, back in the 60s and 70s, which is exactly what I thought this piece was as far as age. If you look at the first video, you can see that. And so we're 99% sure it's from 1960s, 1960 to 70s time period, but made by a master craftsman who was restoring furniture for one of the biggest dealers, antique dealers in the country. And again, let me pull up the slide so the desk drawer, the top can sit. And then open up these doors, and you can see that it is just an amazing, amazing bit of work. Completely fitted. All those drawers work. They're all hand dovetailed. All hand dovetails. Chamfered bottoms like it's an old piece. He made this to look just like an antique piece. And my guess is he was working on the life-size version at some point and took measurements and created. Yeah, the wall face is exactly right. It's really impressive in person. It's not, obviously it's not an antique. It's not a couple hundred years old, but it's still, 1970 is 50 years ago now. I mean, it's hard to believe that things that from my childhood are getting to that point of being true vintage antique type quality pieces. So again, we figured out who it was. We'll add that information to the listing in just a little bit. Some great chairs. Really like the shapes and the forms on these. Love this glass cake dome. Let's head to the front room, see what's new in there. Not new, but trying to move some things around as we go along and see what else. For those who like eagles, and obviously we're talking a lot about eagles today, I'm going to pop this off the wall. This is a good old one as well that's not been touched. It's possible that the right leg has been trimmed down a little bit at some point. But yeah, I mean, look at the carving on that. That is late 19th century, if not earlier. It's possible that it mounted on a mirror. Yeah, it's a nice thing. I'm going to sit this down on something flat because it's hard to hang up with one hand. Oh, I dig this little table. I keep walking right by it because it has the case on it. But again, nice. Love the chamfered legs, chunky legs. It looks like almost like a 4x4 that's been cut down with these angles to give it some sort of elegance to it. That's a true country piece right there. And great condition, patina and color. Back here in the front room, look again, love the big dinner bell. See if I can do this with one hand. It works. And I love the fact that this was mounted outside and the back side of the bell never got any sun, so it's completely lichen covered because it never got sun, so it just, the moisture would stay there and turn to moss, so a lot of fun. These are really cool. I wish I knew who did those. They look like Mexico or Texas. Wait, is that that looks like a signature in there. It's amazing how when you look at these things different times, different ways, that is definitely a signature in there, or initials. We have something to go on now. Maybe we can figure this out. But it has a really nice little handcrafted look to it. Based upon the coloring, patination, everything, I would say that these, yeah, Jack Wick, I agree completely. That's a great dinner bell song. It's exactly what you want to hear out of an old bell, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Bridget, thanks for watching too. If you have any questions about what we're looking at, let me know, or comments. But I think these, let's see if this one has any marketing on it. It does. That is definitely some sort of marketing. I'll take pictures of that, add it to the listing, and see if we can't find anything else out about it. We love to know what we're selling. Obviously, it makes a difference. Really neat little weather vane. Not little, it's big. That's, it's standing, 4.5, 5 foot tall almost. Yeah, next week I'll probably take this painting down off the wall and show you the back. It's 1833, I believe. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Jack Wick. That it just has, and hanging, when it was hanging in the backyard and you would ring it, you could hear it, I'm sure, houses, blocks away. Just a beautiful tone. Some wonderful furniture, folks. I know if you're outside of the area, I think, if you're around the country, furniture's not exactly economical to ship, but if you're anywhere near the Kansas City area, there are some really neat pieces of furniture that you want to take a look at. We'll talk more about those next Monday night when we do the preview, the next virtual open house. We'll take a really close look at those and spend a lot of time on them. Nice group of footstools. Again, the planetarium is getting a lot of interest, as it should. These are hard to find and beautiful. Hey, Corky, how you doing? How are things down in Oklahoma, right? A couple of little dents into the sun. Got the label, compass, the whole 9 yards. Neat old piece. A lot of people are digging on that. More carvings. We'll talk more about the doctor's cabinet on Monday as well, but really rare piece. We went over this a little bit in detail on Monday. We'll go more into that next week in the next virtual open house. Oh, good to hear it. Are you guys staying busy down there, Corky? I know that we're trying to figure out how best to do business when we're both working at home most of the time. But this Mission Oak file cabinet, a lot of people in the furniture ad have really responded to it. Works great. Should have pulled it out. In fact, I can do that right now. We move the the cradle over here. Okay. Yeah. So what's interesting about this, more so than normal, show the toy on top. Okay, in just a second, I'll get right back to you. The horses, is that what you're talking about, Johnny? But the file cabinet, nice size, about 37, 40 inches tall. What's interesting is at some point somebody added this work surface, and I'm sure it is not original, as I've never seen this before, but they used a really good quality oak, right? I mean, it's just a neat piece, and it gives you that, I mean, you wouldn't want to put anything really heavy on there, but you could easily put a laptop on there or an iPad and work on stuff. You put your, speakers there. It just gives you more workspace, And when you're not using it, look down here, just flip that down, and you know, it's like a drop leaf table, except it's a drop leaf Mission Oak file cabinet. So you know, kind of homegrown ingenuity, which fits this collection perfectly. A lot of homegrown pieces, a lot of folk art primitive, and this is not primitive or folksy in any way, except for that one element. All right, so let me put this cradle. It's called a plate cradle or cat's cradle, 1810, 1820, hard to find thing. Johnny asked about this toy piece right here. This is from an old ride-on toy, and I forget the name of it. Is that a wall mirror around the corner? Shauna, let me talk about this to Johnny real quick, and then I will see what you're talking about. But probably there's several mirrors. But this would have been, this bracket here would have had a wheel that would have attached down below. So these horses would have been out front, and then there'd have been like behind about here some sort of seat that was attached to it. So it's almost like a wagon, except they had horses on the front. And this part is exactly as it's supposed to be, right? It's got good look to it. The legs are, let's see, the legs are actually metal, because they could and would come in contact with the ground, right? So they needed to be stronger than the bodies of the horse. And you can see these would have had, I think, that would have been attaching something on the back. It's got one ring. I think those are just decorative, like reins. The side, see, this side is missing. Real horsehair coming off of the mane and tails on both sides. The ears are leather. Again, we're missing one ear for sure. But yeah, it's just a neat thing, and you know, it's just so graphic. I wish I had a place to put it. Let me see if I can get creative here. I think it'll fit on that. Let me move this again. I hate to move so fast. I know it gets dizzying maybe. I think this will fit on top. Oh, if I put the work surface up, it will definitely fit up there now. All right, let me set the phone here, looking at that carved flower, while I set this on top. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So yeah, I mean, it just has a great silhouette. It sounds like it could be bastardish, but you could easily make this two horses that you would mount on the wall as separate 2D pieces, right? Because that on a wall would be really striking. The coloring, the patina. Is that just dust? No, that's actually a little bit of flaking in the paint there. But they're just really, really fun. I liked those the second I saw them. Amy's like, well, it's only part of something. I said, yeah, but it's the coolest part of the something, right? So yeah. Mirror around the wall. All right, Shauna, back to you. Is this the mirror you're talking about? Or are those mirrors back there what you were talking about? Or something else? Oh, you're welcome, Johnny. Thanks for watching. Anybody else has any questions, please let me know. All right, so I'm going to just do this one real quick. This is a nice rosewood 1860s mirror. This little medallion piece there stands on top, just sits in there. And it has a table, a marble top table underneath it. And it's just really, really classic. We don't really have a place to display it well here, but you can see that it's, you know, it's a good size piece. It's really like a pier mirror, right? The first one. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so let me go ahead and flip this out. So it's a mirror. You can see this got a bracket there that would attach to the back of this table. And I'm going to do this one-handed as best as I can. So this, and you see the shape of the marble there, right? Beautifully shaped marble. Let me go through that. And the marble's in wonderful condition. And then this goes underneath it, right? So we did our best in the pictures to show this, but it's really hard to get this in a spot, right? If you have a house, obviously you could mount this exactly where you wanted to. There's some damage. It's missing some pieces, like on the left side there. A little bit of damage and loss there. But on the, you know, hanging up on the wall, you would never notice that. Again, good rosewood. Let me lay this back down. And you can see, I'll stand back. The nice quality carving in this. And anytime that shape is, not just a rectangular or square, it's just a wonderful thing. I think it's great. Probably it has a really strong English look to me, although it's a little bit more robust than English pieces. So it could be New York, but it's just a good looking thing all the way around. And in the right house, in the right setting, it would be spectacular. Does that kind of help you out there, Shauna? Let me know if you have any questions specific to it. And again, anybody else watching, if you have questions about pieces or items specifically, let me know. We'll do the best we can to try and describe them. And I can't do a virtual open house without seeing the outhouse door. I think this is a really fun thing. Thanks for watching, Kirsten. If you have any questions, just let us know. Everybody needs a folk art outhouse door in their collection. See, this is the gap where the big eagle was, and I'll finish up there in just a minute. Another good slat Victorian bench. The cash register works. Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for watching. Folk art frame's getting a lot of attention. It has quite a bit of damage. There's a bag with a few pieces that have fallen off over the years that will go with it. But look at all the layers. It's kind of hard to count, but I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 layers of work. And then, of course, like little details like the hearts in the corners, little roundels, stars, all kinds of fun stuff, right? Love these. The corner treatment is really cool. Yeah, Jack, with that door is cool. They had it mounted in they had a weird little corner by a fireplace about that size in the house. And they had it mounted across like here. And they had a little utility, they made a utility closet in there. Interior dimensions, Diane, I will get those here shortly. I can't do that with one hand. Yeah, obviously I'll do that. I'll post it here in the video, and then I will also post it in the listing. Because, yeah, you can't modify that frame at all. What year are the pennies? Pennies. Huh. What are we speaking about? What did I miss there, Jack Wick? I don't remember pennies anywhere. There's nothing. Huh. Let me know what you're talking about, and maybe I can figure it out, but I don't think. It looks like there might look like pennies on that frame, but they are not. All right, so again, just a real quick walkthrough. Love this little, like, I call it a Black Forest carved corner cabinet, the grapes on the door. Oh, they're not pennies. They're just little wood roundels, like little decorative pieces. That'd be nice if they were pennies. You could get a better idea of exactly when it was made. But no, they're just wooden decorative elements. I dig the little toast rack. Toast rack that says toast. That's pretty cool. Alrighty, so again, finishing up on the eagle. I think it's actually better than we thought, but it's been restored. So that makes it better and worse at the same time. It doesn't much matter though. You don't find eagles of this size and scale very often anymore. Almost 6 feet across. Nicely carved, in excellent condition, very solid. Even though it was made out of a couple different pieces, they're all stabilized. Nothing's going anywhere. And this will be great in your house for decades to come. Oh my goodness, what a great video. So a couple of quick things before I'm going to upset you by looking at me for the next couple minutes. A couple of really exciting things. We are announcing an affiliate program. We're going to have people listing objects on our platform from home. So we have a lot of sellers in the area that we've known for a long time who are struggling right now, obviously. So we're able to open up to some of our longtime friends and colleagues and give them an opportunity to sell and you an opportunity to look at more things. The first one should be going online within a couple of hours. We have other sellers working on projects right now. So we're really excited about that. Apprehensive and scared as well, but I think it's going to be a good thing for everybody involved. Secondarily, like I said, mentioned a couple of times, Monday evening, probably at 7 o'clock, I need to check at home, make sure what's going on in the family. We might come down here as a family, have dinner here, a picnic at the office, get the kids out of the house. I hope that's for the affiliate program. Monday night, 7 o'clock, I'll do another video from here. If you have anything in particular, we're getting questions every day via Facebook, Instagram, emails, phone calls. Let us know. I'll be absolutely eager to help you answer those questions. We're responding to emails and messages as we can. We're all struggling to work from home, trying to get things done with the distractions that come with two teenage boys, one who's supposed to graduate high school. The last day of high school is supposed to be in 2 weeks. So, but thank you all so much for watching. Share this with your friends. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you again so much, and we'll be talking to you soon.